Yo, what is up, Kings? I hope all is well. Doing something a little bit differently today. I didn't want to set up my camera, the full-fledged system. It's a pain in the ass, much more than you guys realize. But I just came across one of my Twitter accounts. I was looking, or I noticed that there was a new person who was following me, and it was a big account, 81,000 followers. And the Twitter account is called States Poll. And essentially, what I can gather from this account is that it is a election polling profile account. And so let me just start by saying this, guys. I have lost a lot of support for talking about this. It is what it is. I don't do this for the notoriety. I don't do this for the subscriber count or anything like that. Of course, support is nice, and all those things are added bonuses. But I've said time and time again, my number one reason for doing this channel is to talk about things that inspire me, that I think are worthy of sharing with you guys, and sharing truth. And I'm never going to hold back on that. But I do know that it has definitely impacted the channel. There's definitely a lot of people who do not like what I have had to say on this matter. And what it is, of course, is Trump's campaign. I think people are probably more willing now than maybe when I first started talking about this to listen to what the actual content of what I'm saying is as time has progressed. But essentially, Trump's campaign has a lot of issues, okay? This is not the well-oiled machine that was 2015, 2014, or whenever he started, 2015, where he was selling out arenas and people could not get enough of him. Obviously, he still has a ton of support, and I will continuously say that I don't dislike the guy. I think Trump is a great American, and I have a lot of respect in my being for him. I wish that he was doing some of the things that I am about to discuss. I would like nothing more for him to do some of these things and make it to where I can support him. But it's just not where it's at right now. His campaign has a lot of issues, and I've delved into it across multiple videos. But the main thing that I want to discuss is two things in this video. I'm going to react and respond to the polling of this profile. It's called States Poll. You guys can check it out on X or Twitter. Maybe I'll link it in the description box. There's two things that I want to nail down. Number one, Trump's campaign does not have the energy that it once did. Now, that is something that is fixable, that he can turn around. It's a little late in the ball game, but it is doable. Do I think he will? At this point in time, I'm not optimistic about it. Trump's campaign in 2015 was so magnanimous and so glowingly popular in both negative and positive tilts. It was out of this world. And it's just not the case right now, guys. It hasn't been the case for a while. I think there's been some spikes based off of events that have taken place and things that have happened, such as the attempted assassination attempt, or the attempted assassination attempt, and things like that, and some other major key events. But as far as like Trump being able to garner massive support off of his own verbiage, his own words. It's just not happening, and it has not been the case for a long time. Again, it's fixable. I hope he does. We're kind of short in the ball game. It's kind of late in the ball game to do it, but it is what it is. There's actually a word I was looking for besides verbiage that people utilize. Anyways, maybe it'll come to me. It's kind of hard to remember some of these things right on the spot. But the second thing is Trump, pretty much since I would say 2016, 2017, has, and I do want to make note, he did do a recent interview where he said that one of the things that he regretted is putting sway in the opinions of neocons when it came down to cabinet choices, cabinet member choices, staffing, in other words. So that is a positive sign. It's not the end all be all. It's kind of like a itsy bitsy small sign, but it's a small positive sign nonetheless. But since 2016, 2017, Trump has, and his campaign, the strategy has been to go away from his white base, his white voter base, which is exactly who he was able to raise up and gain excitement from, and that is the reason why he won in 2016. Make no mistake about it, Trump won in 2016 because he was able to get white voters out to vote, and they supported him in mass. In particular, white males supported him massively across the board, and that is why he was able to win. Now, you could break it down and say that he appealed to the working class and the unions, which was different from some of the neocons before him. But overall, the reason why he won, make no mistake, was because he was able to garner the white male vote. If you wanted to break it down even more, it would be the straight white male vote. That is who he was able to garner. And in a lot of regards, that is why the establishment, the liberal, and for that matter, neocon establishment who buys into this feminism and New World Order, despised him so much, because he was able to juvenize and bring forth people who were kind of disengaged from the political process. The silent majority, if you will, the people who get up and are extremely productive in our society, but decided to take a step away from it because they were no longer being appealed to, and they were no longer getting what they needed to get out of politics. There was no politicians that were asking them what they needed in order to garner their support. So he was able to juvenize that base. Not only did he go away from his white voters, but he has since around that time strategically, and there is no getting around this, he has strategically gone after the non-white vote. Which, again, if you look at what his campaign was, and this is not to say that his campaign was racist or anything like that, but his campaign was on the foundation of going against illegal immigration and protecting American citizens and citizenry, okay? Citizenry. So, ultimately, when he decided to appeal to non-white voters, in a lot of regards, he was saying that he was nothing more than a neocon and accepting, even promoting illegal immigration and supporting non-American voters or people who at one time were not Americans. So that is his biggest issue. And this poll absolutely documents that. And I'm so happy I came across this. This is probably the biggest reason, because this lends itself to the lack of energy, because Trump is not appealing to his base. Thus, the campaign does not have the energy that it once did. That was the thing that Trump's campaign was wildly known for, was being high energy, being high octane, having massive grassroots support. So I'm going to read this. Election 2024 forecast as of August 22nd, 2024. Harris, 343 electoral votes. Trump, 178. Toss-up, 17. It even says that Texas is tilting Democrat. Can you guys believe that? I can. I mean, this has been coming for a long time now. A lot of people were saying, especially with the mass exodus from the state of California and the illegal immigration into the state of Texas, that it was just a matter of time that before Texas became a Democrat stronghold. And we're starting to see that. Those fears have been accurate. They have been proven to be true. And, you know, on one hand, when people were leaving the state of California, it was representative of a failed system, but it was also scary in that people's human nature is unchanging. Did you really believe that those idiots who supported liberals in the state of California were going to suddenly have this profound awakening that they had it all wrong? Maybe a few of them did, but by and large, that's not going to be the case. They think that their politics is correct and that, you know, California, regardless of the crazy policies and the lack of economic strength, regardless of that, the policies and the ideology of the left was still the way to go. So that's crazy. It says Texas tilt D, University of Houston, Hobby School of Public Affairs. And then it has, I don't understand what this is. Trump 49.5, Harris 44.6, Kennedy 2. It says Trump is plus 4.9. Notable results. White, Trump 57, Harris 38, Trump plus 19. Harris is doing plus 16% better among white voters than Biden did in 2020. And if you paid any attention to the Democratic National Convention, they made a direct appeal to white voters. And then it says this pollster kind of nailed white voters in 2020. So that's essentially it. I mean, there's much more to this. It says Trump might need 72% plus among white voters in 2024, less white voters than 2020. But Trump got 65.3% in 2020. 72 minus 65.3% equals minus 6.7%. In 2024, Georgia perhaps... it was 59% white, black 30%, other 11%. 2022 Georgia Senate Vox voter analysis, white 60%, black 30%. So it's gone down 1%. In my opinion, pollsters used to underestimate Democratic nominee percentage of non-white voters because of small samples. Voter registration percent in Georgia, November 2020, white 52.8, black 30.1. August 2024, white 50.7, black 30.1. Less white voters and less white voters support for Trump plus Kamala Harris might max out non-white voters. Half black, half Asian root. Arizona toss-up has Harris 47, Trump 43, Kennedy 5. And then, of course, you know, you do have Kennedy supporting Trump, but I really don't think that that's going to make much of an impact. Obviously he would have taken some of the vote, But in all reality, I think that the people who were willing to vote for him are far more likely to vote for Harris and lean Harris than they are Trump, even with the endorsement. So Maine, second, lean Democrat. Ohio likely are. Two private polls conducted in Ohio recently by GOP pollsters found Trump receiving less than 50% of the vote against Harris. New Hampshire, likely Democrat. Minnesota, solid Democrat. Based on 2020 Fox voter analysis, North Carolina race, white 75, black 19, other 7%, Hispanic 4, other 3. North Carolina tilt Democrat to lean Democrat, so it's somewhere in between. Nevada toss up. And like I said, Arizona toss up. So, I mean, it's just, he's got a lot of ground to cover. White voter share declines in Texas. Fox voter analysis 2018, 2020, 2022. 2018, white Texas Senate, white 59%. 2020, Texas President, white 59%. Trump 67, Biden 39. And then 2020, white percent 56.5 equals white men 28% plus white women 28%. So it went down from almost 4 percentage points. So now, the last thing I want to say, again, I don't want to make this into a massive thing, is in the end, elections are about being able to juvenize the base and get people to actually come out and be excited to vote for you. That's what Trump was able to do. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, in 2016 was not. I don't necessarily want to count 2020 because there's obviously, in my opinion, some data that's not completely accurate. But, just speaking on 2016, obviously Hillary struggled to gain more support than she already naturally had from the base. And Trump was able to juvenate past what his kind of median support was. So, yeah, he's got a lot of ground to cover, and I think that this is probably accurate. This is kind of what I'm seeing too. And, in all honesty, Trump kind of led to his own demise, and I've said that in other videos. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. The word I was looking for was rhetoric. That's the word I was looking for, rhetoric, earlier. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I know that this is an extremely black pill, but at the end of the day, guys, I don't think, and I'm going to do a video about this in the future about what it means to be a conservative and really hone down what it is that you are trying to conserve if you consider yourself a conservative. And ultimately, guys, having this in the middle mentality, meeting halfway and making concessions, it just doesn't work. It just does not work. And we're seeing that right now. It failed Trump as everything that he made concessions on in an attempt to collaborate has come back to bite him in the ass. And, here we are. So, again, another word I was looking for outside of concession, when two people try, one gets a little bit, you try and meet in the middle, but neither gets both, whatever that word is. So we'll see what happens, guys. But again, if you're trying to conserve anything, it has to be an all or nothing proposition. Again, I'm going to do a video in the future, but it has to be an all or nothing proposition, because at the heart of liberalism is this constant attempt to have concessions from the people who are trying to conserve. And any concession that is made is a step towards what they are trying to put into place. And that's why we always see that the Republican Party, because they are the kings of doing this, they are merely a few years behind what the Democrat Party is. And this has never been more evident than what we saw at the Republican National Convention in 2015 or 2016 versus whatever it was before the 2016 presidency, versus what we're seeing now at the National Convention, and then now what we saw from the Democratic Party National Convention. We see the Republican Party talking about things that the Democrats talked about several years ago, but now they're going back on because they know it's a failed thing. But of course, because Republicans are so ashamed of being conservative and having values, and they are trying to do the things that Democrats were trying to do, which failed a few years ago. They're trying to do it now. So it is what it is. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to smash the subscribe button, like, comment, share. I know there's definitely going to be people who don't like this, but it is what it is. Again, I got this from States Poll. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow and facts your feelings, because your feelings just matter. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Christ is King. Peace.